It's confusing, isn't it? She laughs at your jokes, she seems interested, but the next day, silence. No texts, no calls, nothing. You start asking yourself, did I do something wrong? The truth is, women often ignore the very men they secretly like, and it's not always for the reason you think. Before we dive in, hit subscribe to Brainify On, where we decode female psychology, human behavior, and relationships in the rawest way possible. 1. It's a test of your patience. You meet a girl, the chemistry feels right, the conversations flow, and just when you think everything's moving forward, she suddenly goes quiet. Hours pass, then days. No replies, no calls. Your brain starts running wild. Did I say something wrong? Did she lose interest? Is she talking to someone else? But here's the strange truth, and it's something most men don't want to hear. Many times when a woman ignores you, it's not because she's lost interest. It's because she's testing you. And no, not in some manipulative, cruel way. Rather, it's her subconscious way of measuring your strength. See, women are wired to observe how a man reacts under pressure. A silent test, without her saying a word, shows her exactly what you're made of. If you panic, if you blow up her phone, if you beg for attention, then she learns you're not grounded. She sees your emotions are in her hands, and once she knows she has that much control, the attraction starts to fade. But if you respond differently, if you remain calm, steady, and patient, suddenly you stand out. Most men crumble at this stage. They can't handle the silence, so they rush to fill the gap with needy behavior. The rare man who doesn't, who continues to live his life, goes to the gym, focuses on his work, laughs with his friends, shows her something rare. He shows her discipline. Psychologists link patience to emotional self-control, and self-control is a trait that women find irresistible. It communicates maturity. It communicates safety. To her, your patience says, I don't need your constant reassurance to stay balanced. I can wait. I can handle uncertainty. I'm not afraid of silence. Think of it like a storm. She wants to see if you can stand firm when the skies turn dark, because if you can't handle a few days of her being quiet, how will you handle life's real storms, financial struggles, family issues, personal battles? Women want men who are grounded, men who won't collapse when things get hard. There's also a hidden layer here. When she ignores you, she's observing your timing. Do you rush to demand answers, or do you give her space? Timing reveals a man's patience. If you wait with grace, she feels safer opening up later. If you rush, she feels pressured. So the next time a woman ignores you, don't see it as punishment, see it as a mirror. She's silently asking, are you steady or are you weak? And your response will give her all the answers she needs. 2. She's guarding her own emotions. Sometimes when a woman ignores you, it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with her. Men often assume silence equals disinterest, but that's not always the case. In many situations, a woman will pull back precisely because she likes you too much, too quickly, and it scares her. Think about it. Many women carry scars from past experiences. Maybe she trusted someone before, opened her heart, only to end up abandoned. Maybe she was made to feel weak for caring too deeply. So now, when she feels that same intensity building with you, her instinct is to put up walls. She convinces herself, if I ignore him now, I won't get hurt later. Her silence becomes her armor. Let me give you a picture. Imagine a girl who's been through a messy breakup. She finally meets a man who makes her smile again, who makes her stomach flip when his name shows up on her phone. At first, she dives into it. Long talks, laughter, a spark she hasn't felt in years. But one night, lying in bed, her thoughts creep in. What if he leaves me like the last one? What if I get too attached and he doesn't feel the same? That fear gnaws at her, and the next day, instead of texting back, she ignores you. Not because she doesn't care, but because she cares too much. This is where most men make the fatal mistake. They assume her ignoring means she's lost interest, so they overcompensate. They chase harder, demand answers, or even lash out in anger. And what does that do? It confirms her fear. It shows her, he can't handle my silence. He can't give me the safety I need. So she shuts down even more. But here's the truth. When a woman ignores you to guard her emotions, she's silently hoping you'll do the opposite of what most men do. She wants you to stay calm, to not take her silence personally, to show her that you're not going to punish her for protecting herself. Your patience in that moment speaks louder than any words. Psychology backs this up. People who have been hurt often use avoidance as a defense. They don't stop caring. They just step back to manage their feelings. Your role, if you truly want her, isn't to break through that wall with force. It's to stand steady until she feels safe enough to lower it herself. So the next time she goes quiet, don't assume the worst. Sometimes silence is just fear dressed as indifference. And if you meet it with calmness instead of panic, you show her that her heart might finally be safe in your hands. 3. The balance of attention. Here's something most men don't realize. Attraction isn't built on constant attention. It's built on balanced attention. And one of the most common reasons a woman might ignore you, even if she secretly likes you, is because she feels the scales tipping too far. Think about how human behavior works. When something is always there, always available, always within reach, we stop noticing it. The brain starts to undervalue what it can't lose. It's the same reason why people don't appreciate air until they're gasping for breath. In relationships, the same principle applies. If you're always chasing, always initiating, always the one to text first, she begins to lose that natural thrill of wanting you. So sometimes when she ignores you, it's not rejection. It's a reset. She's subconsciously pulling back because she doesn't want to lose that excitement. By ignoring you, she creates distance, and distance creates desire. That gap makes her feel the weight of your absence. She wants to feel the spark again, and silence is her way of reigniting it. Let's paint a picture. Imagine you text her every morning, every night, all throughout the day. At first, she loves it. She feels special. But over time, the constant stream of messages loses its magic. The good morning that once made her smile becomes routine. She stops feeling the excitement, not because she stopped liking you, but because she got used to you. So she pulls away. She ignores. It's her way of reminding herself what it feels like to miss you. And here's the catch. Most men make this worse. The moment she ignores, they go into panic mode. They text more, call more, chase harder. And what does that do? It kills the very attraction she was trying to protect. Instead of missing you, she feels smothered. Instead of wanting you, she feels pressure. But a man who understands the psychology of balance plays it differently. When she ignores, he doesn't chase. He mirrors her energy. If she takes a day to respond, he doesn't punish her, but he doesn't collapse either. He lives his life. He shows her that her silence doesn't control him. And what happens then? Her curiosity grows. She starts wondering, why isn't he running after me like other guys? Does he not need me? What's he doing that's more important than me? And suddenly, she's the one craving your attention again. This is the paradox of attraction. Too much availability lowers value, and just the right amount of distance raises it. By ignoring you, she's not always rejecting you. Sometimes she's protecting the balance that keeps the spark alive. So when she goes quiet, don't overreact. Recognize it for what it is, a psychological reset. And instead of chasing, let her come back into the silence she created. That's when attraction grows stronger than before. 4. She wants you to show emotional maturity. Sometimes a woman ignores you because she's not just curious about your patience. She's curious about your maturity. To her, silence becomes a tool, a quiet way of asking, is this man strong enough to handle his emotions, or will he react like a boy? Let's be real, every woman has seen men fold under pressure. A little silence and suddenly he's angry, calling her names, accusing her of not caring. Or worse, he becomes desperate, sending long emotional texts, begging for answers. To her, those reactions scream immaturity. They tell her this man isn't in control of himself, and if he can't control himself, how can he be trusted to lead, to protect, to build a steady relationship? Now picture the opposite. She ignores you, but instead of panicking, you stay calm. You give her space. You carry on with your life. You're not bitter. You're not throwing tantrums. You're composed. That calmness tells her something powerful. It says, I can handle silence. I can handle uncertainty. I won't punish you for needing space. I once heard a story about a man who really liked a woman. She ignored him for days, testing if he would lose control. Instead of chasing, he went to the gym, posted photos with his friends, kept smiling. A week later, she came back and admitted, "I thought you'd be angry." His answer was simple: "Why would I be angry? Everyone needs space sometimes." That single line showed her emotional maturity in a way words never could. Women respect men who don't let their emotions spill everywhere, because deep down she knows life will throw challenges. If a man can't handle her silence without breaking, how will he handle bigger storms, money struggles, family problems, career stress? Ignoring you isn't always about pushing you away. Sometimes it's her way of checking if you're built for the long road. So the next time she goes quiet, remember, it's not just a test of your patience, it's a test of your emotional strength. And the men who pass are the ones who understand. Maturity isn't shown in words, it's shown in silence. 5. Fear of being too available. Here's a side of psychology most men overlook. Sometimes she ignores you, not because she's lost interest, but because she doesn't want to look too interested. She doesn't want to seem desperate, clingy, or easy. Even if she's into you, she might step back simply to protect her image. Think about it. Society often judges women harshly for showing too much affection too soon. A man can text all day and it's seen as charming, but when a woman does it, she fears being labeled desperate. So she pulls back. She ignores you, not because she doesn't like you, but because she likes you so much she doesn't want to give it away too quickly. Picture this. She wakes up wanting to text you, "Good morning," but she stops herself thinking, "What if he thinks I'm doing too much? What if he stops chasing me if I show him I'm available?" So instead of sending that text, she ignores you. In her mind, ignoring becomes a strategy, her way of keeping the balance of power. The danger here is misinterpretation. Men often mistake this silence as disinterest, and they overreact. They either chase harder, making her feel pressured, or they get cold, thinking she doesn't care. Both moves kill attraction. The right response is balance. When she pulls back, don't push forward with force. Match her pace. Respect her space. Continue your life. When she sees you're not shaken by her silence, she realizes you're not needy. And paradoxically, that makes her feel safer, showing her interest again. So don't assume every ignored text is rejection. Sometimes it's just her way of saying, "I don't want you to think I'm too easy to get." Respect that space and watch how she naturally returns with even stronger energy. 6. The power of silence in attraction. Finally, understand this. Silence itself is one of the oldest tools in attraction. Just like men sometimes go quiet to build mystery, women use the same strategy. When she ignores you, she's not always pushing you away. Sometimes she's creating tension. And tension, when handled correctly, fuels desire. It's like fire. Too much air blows it out, but just the right amount makes it burn stronger. Her silence is that controlled air. It creates space for curiosity, for wonder, for missing you. When she ignores you, she's building a gap that only your calmness can fill. Let's flip the perspective. Imagine she's always texting you, always showing affection. Would you ever have time to wonder about her? Probably not. That wondering, that hunger for answers is what keeps attraction alive. By ignoring you, even briefly, she's creating that hunger in your mind just as she creates it in hers. But here's the mistake men make. They see silence as rejection and panic. They rush to fill the gap with calls, messages, explanations. And what happens? The fire suffocates. The mystery dies. The attraction fades. The men who win are the ones who understand the psychology of silence. They let it breathe. They don't overreact. They stay patient, knowing that silence is not always absence. Sometimes it's presence in disguise. It's her way of deepening the bond, of creating emotional pull. So the next time she ignores you, don't collapse. Recognize that silence isn't always the end. Sometimes it's the beginning of a stronger attraction. The power isn't in chasing, it's in letting her silence do its work while you remain unshaken. So when a woman ignores you, remember, there's always a deeper reason. It's not always rejection. Sometimes it's fear, sometimes it's balance, and sometimes it's simply a test of your strength. If this video gave you clarity, hit that like button, drop a comment below with your thoughts, and subscribe to Brainify On for more psychology truths that most people are too afraid to say out loud.